He's scared stiff right now, so I don't want to scare him no more.
Conor, you said on the World Tour you looked in Jose's eyes and you knew right away how the fight was going to go.
Will be decided in the first round. After that, it will be a formality.
Fight fans,
give me that, special in that.
Welcome back.
He feels like he's handcuffed. He's handcuffed and forced into this. He doesn't want to be here.
Today, we take a closer look at a moment since past.
The so-called pound for pound #1, but he's quaking in his boots over there.
The culmination of a new era, one that many believed would last a decade, but would in fact signal the end.
What went through your mind when that happened?
Holy
A moment of hunger and savagery hidden behind flash sanitized PR speak.
Come get it.
That has not been seen before, nor since.
Sometimes I look in the mirror and get little frights as well looking at myself, because I am an absolute animal.
A terrifyingly dominant striker whose physical fortitude had afforded him 0 losses in over a decade. A fighter whose sticks and stones will break your bones, and his words may actually help him hurt you.
Well, I'm gonna wipe out everyone in this division. I said that, and I will do it.
Here we look at the biggest mental beatdown in MMA history.
McGregor, how long is it gonna take you to rip his head off?
This one will be a master class.
It will be done in one.
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
This guy is for real. Jose Aldo is a scary guy.
Scarface. Jose Aldo's decade-long domination of the elite at featherweight began before the Ultimate Fighting Championship even had a 145-pound division.
You hear the beat of the gun, you hear the beat of the drum, it go, it go. You hear the beat of the drum, you hear the beat of the gun, it go, it go. What you hear that?
His butchering of legs was a particular highlight of his game, chopping down to the bone.
That was nasty.
With effortless explosions of power, with minimal setup.
I actually think that he needs a couple more fights. And he had a dominant performance against Uriah, but I think he could have done better. I think he could have stopped him.
However, it was his finishing instincts and ability to smell blood that really put Aldo on the UFC's radar. After entering the UFC in 2011, 7 fights in 4 years had most MMA fans at the time in agreement that Jose Aldo Jr. was the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on earth.
Lógico, eu respeito todo mundo, mas eu quero quebrar os recordes de maior defesa de cinturão. Aí depois disso, sim, quando eu senti que eu fiz esses recordes, eu paro, não importa se eu já lutei ou não lutei, e sim quero parar.
And many believed he was soon to place the shiniest jewel on his crown of accomplishments, a win over a clown, a joker, a fool, the notorious Conor McGregor.
Fans want to see McGregor in for a world title. There's no denying that. So we will see what way they play it. But I will certainly campaign for it with everything I have, and I will go at everyone in the division until I get it.
I'ma get down like I know, been a hothead, blood ice cold, found my niche.
Of course I want that gold belt. Don't try and tell me that that gold belt sitting up right there on this table would not look great.
The story speaks for itself, and the origin of the UFC's premier star is etched into the mind of even the most casual fans.
One thing I taught Darren and Dan when I was maybe 15, 16 years of age was, I can beat these people.
Humble beginnings as an apprentice plumber, with a dream immortalized by young European fighters looking to climb the ranks with the same ferocity as the old king.
If this kid can fight this much, if he can even throw a punch, this kid is going to be so. And it's bigger than anything I've ever seen before.
With wins over Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, the early stages of his featherweight run have aged like a fine wine.
Wherever the fight goes, I don't plan nothing, you know. You can call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
But by the time McGregor had burst onto the big stage after a series of regional titles, very little of that humble young apprentice remained.
Anyone in the top 10, anyone they want, I'm going for the finish.
I hate even saying this, but with his gift of gab and his athletic ability and fighting ability, it's almost like the Irish Muhammad Ali in a way.
I don't see anything in the division that troubles me, not one of them. They don't move like I move, they don't think like I think, and they don't talk like I talk.
And it was during that initial rise where the young Irishman minced no words on his opinion of the featherweight champion, looking to antagonize Aldo at every given opportunity.
I said I was going to kill everybody and wipe out the division. Now we have one man left. They don't want to be in there with me, or they don't want to face me. They might think they do until they get it, and then they don't. So I don't know. I feel I will put him away in the first round. I remove a head. I bring it backstage. I place it on Mr. White's desk. Here you go, boss. Another one done. So we are going to go to Las Vegas, and one more head will be collected.
Raised in the favelas and back streets of Brazil, Jose Aldo was no pushover.
Ele pode falar quando tá longe. Lá dentro não vai falar nada.
He laughed, joked, and diverted insults from McGregor until it was time to fight.
I mean, you can still try and lie to yourself and tell yourself that this is a joke, this is not going to happen. And then guess what? Then the Boston fight happened where I knocked my opponent down, bounced over the cage and went straight for him. Now there's no running. Now it's before you. Every fight, this is the guy, and now Aldo, this is the guy. But we will see. It's the same process. It's rinse and repeat. I go out and I'll make it look easy, break him down, and that is it.
The biggest fight of the year. It's the biggest gate we've ever done. $9 million gate. The world will be watching this fight.
Oh, hey, what's happening? See the way I walk, I'm a bad man. I'm the major, I'm the general and captain.
A fight between the two was set for July 11th, 2015, but not before an international press tour on an unprecedented scale, which remained unmatched until the May Max Circus a few years later.
The World Championship Press Tour that's going to visit 10 cities and 5 countries over the next 12 days.
Me and Jesus are cool. I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognize gods.
My only confession is perfection is my preference. Breakfast with the gods. I like scrambled excellence.
He is a decision machine. He has 25 minutes to run.
How long is it going to take you to rip his head off?
I met Jose in the lobby. He handed me the belt, kissed my feet, and said I apologize.
It will be done in one.
However, unlike Mayweather, Jose Aldo had no chance of keeping up in the war of words.
If this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to rule.
Well, like I said, when you signed to fight me, it's not like signing to fight anyone else. It's a completely different experience. And he crumbled under that, and I could sense he wanted out.
Next time you see me again.
Fierce stare-downs, belt-snatching, and schoolyard insults were just a few of the tools McGregor used to set up shop inside the champion's head.
Eu sou maior aqui.
It's a mental sign. It's a mental sign.
Eu sou maior.
That's okay. It's a mental sign.
No, he doesn't get into me, you know, like it's impossible to get into me. The strongest part of my game is my mind. I wasn't upset at all with everything that happened, so...
Aldo couldn't even find comfort amongst his own countrymen. When the press tour made its stop in Brazil, the infamously patriotic and supportive Brazilian fans attempted to crush McGregor's confidence with numbers, but all was deflected.
I own this town. I own Rio de Janeiro. I own Rio. Where's Jose? He's not even here. Real Mazzi fled the country. I love it here. It's good to be here.
I know the Brazilians love me, and I love the Brazilians. Anytime I head over to Brazil, they treat me well. They treat me like the king that I am.
Further leading to the ridicule of Aldo, whose calm, playful demeanor was now nowhere to be seen.
So what has it been like for you on this media tour?
É a primeira vez que faço tudo tão longo. Já fiz outros tours, mas não como esse, rodando o mundo.
I see Jose leaving his wife and his kid, and he's missing his baby. I don't have that. I have this.
This is all I want to do. I does not speak English, so I looked him dead in the eye and I said, "Uva moher."
Little Brazilian. Uva moher.
Which means you will die in his own language.
Portuguese.
His bottom lip quivered, his eyes watered.
What you got to say now, face to face, man to man? What you got to say? What you gonna do?
Can we move the seat?
I said, I am his daddy.
A única coisa que eu vejo nele, que eu lembro, é o do Salsicha, do Scooby-Doo.
Otário, otário! Otário, otário! You know what that means?
In its place, a stiff, agitated fighter who felt that this fight had become intensely personal.
Agora é pra casa, treinar, treinar e treinar, porque, meu irmão, eu vou passar por cima dele igual uma carreta de governado.
Jose Aldo has not been beat in 10 years.
Engraçado, a alegria de vocês, mas vocês sabem que depois do dia 11, vocês vão estar todos chorando, de cabeça tristes em casa.
Do you think at all that he's hyping himself up too much, that you're maybe in his head?
Yeah, I think he doesn't know what he's getting himself into, but I know what I got to do, and I got to go in there and win the fight.
Ice was quickly poured on the boiling feud, however, when news broke just weeks before their scheduled fight that Jose Aldo was out of the bout with a rib injury.
News came out on Tuesday, initially from the UFC Netherlands account, that UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo had suffered a rib injury and his status for UFC 189 would be in question.
He didn't show up. I mean, you can't. Where's the pride? Where's the fighter in him?
He said that Aldo's rib is too painful and he will not be fighting. So Chad Mendes now will fight Conor McGregor for the interim belt.
You already thought that Aldo was going to drop out of the fight?
But really, I don't blame the man. I was going to f***ing butcher him.
It makes sense. They'll fight for the interim title, and whenever Jose Aldo is ready, then that fight can happen to unify.
Chad Mendes would step in and challenge McGregor in a way that he hadn't been before.
Watch me destroy Chad Mendes this Saturday night live on pay-per-view.
What you gonna do? You can't even pass guard.
You gonna do the splits on me? Fucking, what do you think you're John Van Damme, dude?
I'm gonna kick you straight in the throat.
Alright, dude, you're so tough. You know, he tries to break people, he tries to, you know, just get inside their heads before, but not on here, baby. I feel like I'm the perfect guy to get in there and beat a guy like Conor.
Landing big shots and bigger takedowns, seemingly slamming the brakes on the Notorious's hype train.
Of course, I would rather have had a full training camp, but, you know, I would have been stupid to turn that fight down.
However, a lack of training camp and body kicks led to a quick flipping of the odds, and McGregor walked away with a technical KO of one of the best contenders to ever come out of the featherweight division.
Nobody can take that left hand shot. It's as simple as that. Everyone breaks.
He stepped up. He showed up. You know, you have to respect that.
Jose's gone running. He can come back, but I swear to God, his day will come.
Conor gave little acknowledgement to Aldo in the post-fight interview and favored a far cooler approach over the coming months.
I'm just happy to close out the show on the sport that I love and introduce everyone that may have not seen it before, maybe a new audience. This is as real as it gets.
Though the cool approach would reach freezing point during the pre-fight press conference on the now rescheduled Aldo fight at UFC 194.
The so-called pound for pound #1, but he's quaking in his boots over there.
He pulled out that contest with all of the talk, all of the build-up, and not one mention of the fans that flew over. There's no more pulling out of this. You're either going to do it now or you're never going to do it.
Just please show up December 12th.
The two men whose paths had run parallel for years now spoke with a sense of finality to their answers.
World Tour was a different time. This time, I am cold. I am emotionless. I am zen.
This one will be the changing of a guard.
I feel he feels like he's handcuffed. He's handcuffed and forced into this. He doesn't want to be here. He's confused. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on. He just cannot wait for it to be over.
Is he the most deserving contender, or is he just the contender with the biggest mouth?
For this one, words were not needed. It would be battle, not mouths, that would decide their respective legacies.
For some reason, something seems off with Aldo right now. I don't know why. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal fighter and a champion, but I almost feel like he's wanting to be done and he wants to retire soon.
Minha confiança sempre esteve muito alta, porque eu sei e acredito no meu treinamento. Quanto mais treinado eu tô, ninguém vai me segurar.
I think he's a clown. He likes to talk a lot and he likes to make people laugh. But that's about it.
Do you think he's got into the head of Jose Aldo?
No, I think Jose Aldo is too experienced for that. And he's been a champ for a very long time.
He's beat, you know, some of the best guys in the game, and I don't think that Conor's not in his league. I just think that Aldo's the better fighter.
Primeira que pegar, pode contar, é caixão. Pode acreditar.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I feel if I just go, he will react a million times. That's what I see the fight playing now. I feel him overreacting, overextending, and then being KO'd unconscious.
Doesn't matter to me. I just go inside that and beat this guy for sure.
This theme carried into the weigh-in, a quieter, more menacing intensity. A metaphor, perhaps, for the fight itself.
The game's designed to break you. It's inevitable. It will happen. This is his time to be broken. So 4 minutes it will be wrapped up. How long he lasts after that will be a formality.
No disrespect. I think Aldo has been a fantastic champion, but I just think his time is up, and I think it's going to be pretty one-sided.
When both men made the long walk at the Grand Garden Arena, the world of combat sports held its breath.
Presenting the Pride of Ireland, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
A touching of gloves was out of the question, but Joe Rogan perfectly acknowledged the body language of both fighters seconds before the opening bell.
Conor looks extremely loose, and Aldo looks like he's feeling the pressure of this moment.
McGregor standing loose with a natural absence of fear. Aldo, opposite, stiff and rigid, bearing the weight of the occasion on his shoulders.
I felt when we stared down, I felt his right hand was twitching, which was a subtle tell for me. He is ready to unload that right hand, and I feel that could be a downfall for him.
Aldo couldn't wait to get his hands on Conor, and at the sound of the opening bell, he rushed forward recklessly.
Jose Aldo.
Sim, perdi uma luta, mas eu sabia que continuar sendo campeão.
And Aldo had a look at his face like he had no idea what was going on.
Never has a reign so dominant been terminated so swiftly.
First punch he threw, slept him.
I knew he would overextend, and I knew I'd catch him, so Mystic Mac strikes again.
Years of animosity, of hatred, ended in just 13 seconds.
O que me doeu mais naquela noite foi para quem poderia perder para qualquer menos para aquele.
The end of an era for Aldo, his first loss at featherweight, and his first defeat in over 10 years.
His taunting and all the insults, how much did that affect you?
We learned the most from our losses, so that loss really put a lot of things in perspective, and that made me a better fighter than I am today.
And also the end, some could argue, of McGregor's obsession with the sport.
They all say I'm all talk. I look at them and say they're all talk.
What he's been able to do in such a short period of time has been nothing short of magnificent. I think that when all is said and done, when we look back on this 20, 30 years from now, the Conor McGregor era will be something truly special, truly unique.
A nostalgic period of time which draws mixed emotions for many, and a moment in time that changed the way fight fans viewed the psychology of just what is going on inside that cage.
When it comes to it all, it's easy for people to look in from the outside. But when you put it all together, not just the weigh-ins, not just the fight, all of the other stuff, nobody can do it better than me.